What's up, everybody? It's your boy Steve Motivates. 6 weeks now into our More Than Just a Game podcast, and we've had some amazing guest speakers share over the past weeks. And tonight we have a very special guest who's played in the World Cup, also represented Australia under 20 level, and now continuing his trade, playing over in France in the Pro D2. So we're very lucky tonight to have the man himself, aka Aquaman, aka Roman Reigns, Senio Toleafoa, who's going to be sharing with us his story and things that we can take away that can empower us and encourage us on our journey. So again, have your pens and paper ready because it's going to be an awesome night. Take care. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy CA Motivates. Week six of our More Than Just a Game podcast, and we've had some awesome guests over the last weeks, and very powerful, wisdom and takeaways that everybody's been taking away. And tonight, week six, we have an amazing young man. He is like a stunt double for Roman Reigns, and also Aquaman, followed Aquaman Part 2 coming out cinemas, and I don't know when, but he's with us tonight, and he's playing professional rugby in France. He's played at the World Cup. He's represented Australia in the 20s. And tonight we have the privilege and honor of having him with us on More Than Just a Game. Why don't we welcome the man, Senio Toleafoa. Welcome, Moose.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me on the show. And really appreciate you asking me to come on and talk about rugby and all that stuff. But thanks for having me. And shout out to all the players in Iron Academy. Hope everyone's doing well.
Awesome. Now, welcome. Thank you for coming on board. And I know that it hasn't been easy the last month or so in France with the restrictions and that. But how's everything going at the moment? Like, are you guys still in level 4, or have they dropped the restrictions?
In France at the moment, today's the second day that the lockdown has been lifted, but we've been in lockdown the last 2 months.
Wow.
But it's been a blessing in disguise. I've got to spend time at home, quality time with Courtney and our dog.
Awesome.
But it's been a good opportunity for myself to do a lot of self-development and upskilling. So
that's awesome, mate. It's good to have that perspective. Of what's going on. It's a time to continue to grow. We can never stop growing, and now that's awesome to hear, man. Well, for those that are watching, I actually met Senio. Actually watched Senio. I was like spying on Senio, maybe a couple of years ago, watching to see who were the who's and who's who in Sydney rugby. For those that know, I played over there. But I always watch. On Facebook and through YouTube and that on who's coming up through Truth Shield. And I remember first time I saw this man, I thought he was like, I nicknamed him the Predator. And the movie The Predator was his long hair and his big shoulders that look like the Opera House and all of that. But and then fast forward, last year we met up in France at the Pacific Rugby Player Welfare Pacifica Unite, and it was awesome to meet you there, and your awesome other half, Courtney, and we just kicked it off from there, and now we're here. And we're having a chat, and so again, thank you also for coming on board. But for those that have been part of our podcast or been watching or been listening, that one of my favorite things I do at the beginning is I ask some warm-up questions. And the reason why I ask the warm-up question, just like when you're playing rugby game, right? Any sport, you want to make sure you warm up because you're on a pull a hamstring knee. And so when we're doing our warm-up questions, we want to do a warm-up question so that when we're talking, we're not like this freezing and that. You know what I mean? So we want to make sure that we're moving with the flow and we're vibing and we're having fun at the same time. So I got 3 questions for you, Senio, aka Aquaman. The first question, bro, is this: growing up, I remember growing up. I remember, watching my favorite cartoons. My kids watch their favorite cartoons. You would have had some favorite cartoons, okay, in your time growing up, okay. And I think back then, some of the top three, going back to those times, one, Barney the Dinosaur, Winnie the Pooh, and Bananas and Pajamas. Okay, so out of those three, which was your favorite, kids show?
Growing up, I think definitely Bananas in Pajamas.
Bananas and Pajamas.
Yeah, it's funny. Like when I was younger, I would watch Bananas in Pajamas all the time in primary school. But then there came a point where my mum, she actually took the TV away.
What?
So I missed out a whole chunk of watching cartoons growing up. So pretty much when I was younger, watching Bananas in Pajamas, then she took away the TV, and I just had an atlas to look at for a few years.
And other favorite show, The Wall.
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember when I grew up, because we grew up watching Barney, right? And I could just remember my grandma, and all the little cousins doing that. I love you, you love me, and that was kind of like a hey, the Fob families, like I love you.
I heard there was a lot of remixes and stuff like that as well.
Some mega remixes, man. But that's awesome, bro. Bananas and Pajamas. Do you actually like bananas? do you like eating bananas?
Not bad.
Not bad. Nice. Awesome. Well, second question, bro, is this one here. Because when I saw you in Lourdes, right, France, every time you moved around, it's like moving like you were dancing. All right. And so I was like, I want to ask this question, okay? When you first saw, your other half, Courtney, okay, what was your go-to move, okay? Was it the old thumbs up and close the eyes, that one? Or was it the old, just the one shoulder move, okay? Or was it this one, these ones? Which was your go-to move?
I think it probably had to be the shoulders, and I had to be suave.
Can you just give us a little demonstration of the shoulders?
Just a bit of,
I'll do it again, and I'll do the.
I think that's where they got their back in the day. I think that's where the Manny Bop came from.
The Manny Bop came from me, and then we're doing it to that song. If you're doing nothing this weekend, that song. The man, nice. All right, okay. So the third question for you. This is like a famous question here on the podcast. I always ask this one. Why? Because I like superheroes. I like watching superhero movies and all of that. So this one here, okay. Let's pretend that I am. Let me find something. Okay, here. Let me say that this is my eye patch. And I'm Nick Fury, okay? I'm not putting the songs I'm going to pull the car or anything. But if I was Nick Fury, okay, and I came to you and I said, Senio, we need you in the Avengers. Which superhero would you be? And what would your extra superpower be?
To be honest, I knew this question was going to come, and I've done a lot of thinking about it. But growing up, I wasn't really into the Avengers and those sort of movies.
Oh wow!
But I was thinking about the question, and I was thinking if there was something if there was a power that I would have, or more like the ability, I would be the ability to influence people.
Oh, nice.
The ability to influence people to be their best in a way. Because think about it, the Avengers, they're fighting against evil for the sake of humanity, to save humanity. But from my point of view, I think if I had the ability, or trying to have the ability to influence people, imagine if we all lived in harmony and there wasn't a need for Avengers in a way, because everyone was just good to each other. But to answer your question properly, if I was to be an Avengers superhero, I'd probably choose the Hulk.
Oh, just explain your shoulders, see. Is that why you always get to the shoulder moves, eh?
If I keep doing this, I'll get arthritis in both shoulders. So,
I think I really got it in one shoulder.
I see.
Well, man, well, that's awesome, bro. Good answer. You know, it's one of the greatest things, you know, is when you know your why and you know, success, right? Success is not about what you have. That's a byproduct of you know what you get for working hard. But true success is being able to empower others. So I truly, you know, resonate and get what you mean by, you know, influencing others and empowering others to be the best versions of themselves. And that is so awesome stuff, brother. Give him a clap, give him a clap. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, our next question's more about getting to know a little bit about you. Who is Senio? Your background? Where were you born? Family? You know, when did you start playing rugby? Any funny stories playing rugby? And you know, who was your biggest influence and why? So if you can just give us a bit of a background, who is Senio?
Senio is a Samoan kid born in Sydney, born and raised in Sydney. Well, brought up in the heart of Sydney, Mount Druitt. So,
Mount County.
Mount County. And yeah, my parents sent me to boarding school. So I did 6 years in boarding school, and that's where I started playing rugby and stuff like that. My family, it's I've got my mum and my dad, but my mum's passed away, rest to his soul, and I've got one sister, one brother. So I'm the baby. Yeah, from a rugby point of view, I started playing rugby in primary school, just rugby league, just for the local club. And my parents sent me to boarding school, obviously, and that's where I started to play rugby. I was number 8 when I first started playing. It's been a good experience. That's where I learned how to play rugby properly at boarding school, and I don't know, explain. That's where I fell in love with the game. And I'd always be that guy that always looks at the greats like Jonah Lomu, and also one of my favorites was Izzy Folau as well.
Yeah.
Just looking up to players like that of Pacific Island heritage, and I'd always look up to admire those kind of players and think to myself, man, well, it would be awesome just to be on the same stage as them. Fast forward to now, it's sort of become a reality. So just really grateful for how things have panned out for myself so far. But yeah, rugby's been pretty much my journey from growing up so far. So haven't really had much experience in the working side of things. It's all been rugby, so I'm still still yet to experience the other side, as they say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true. That's awesome, man. That's awesome to you know, just to hear we were born in Mount County, and also you know going away boarding for 6 years. That must have been. Was it hard to be away from your family 6 years boarding school?
So obviously being Pacific Islander, you're deeply connected to your family. So when I was 12, my brother was already in boarding school. He was 2 years older than me, so he'd already taken the first big hit. So I guess it was good to have him there. But saying that, when I first went away, 12 years old, it was you had to grow up really fast. I felt like there was no more time to be a boy. You know, just being surrounded by all, by yourself, firstly, and being surrounded by all males, and just having to grow up in a man's world pretty much, you know, fights and everything like that. You just had to it was like being in jail, but it was it was a blessing in disguise. It was good. I really enjoyed it. And I think it's shaped me to be the person who I am today. So really grateful for boarding school. I mean, 6 years, man, it felt like forever, but probably like, you know, thinking back, there were some good memories in the first 15 and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
That's awesome, mate. I like that that you learned at a very young age, you know, to not look at, to always see the opportunity presented. You know, most people, or anybody that would have been given that opportunity, if they didn't see it how you saw it, they would have probably given up. But you know, you saw an opportunity to grow, and like you said, it shaped you to being who you are today. So that's awesome. I love that, man. I love that. Just you know, if we could just you know, share with us, you know, like I know that you played under 20s for Australia, and I know that you played in Sydney Shoot Shield. Give us a bit of background about around the teams that you played for, and then also, you know, obviously the big one, what's the World Cup? Can you just share a little bit around that?
Yeah, sure. So coming out of school, I went straight to West Harbour. Do you know West Harbour? Yeah, I think you've played for them in the past, eh?
I think that's when I had hair, eh? When I was just starting to lose hair, like through the denial stage.
Yeah. So I finished school, and yeah, just West Harbour was my first club. A really good club to me.
Nice.
And but was playing Colts there. I got an opportunity to go to Samoa and play for Samoa under 20s in 2012. And then coming back the next year, I still had another year in under 20s. And I was fortunate enough to play for Australia under 20s second year. But it was like I'd say my dad has been my manager. My dad and my brother has been my manager. They've sort of like, in a way, you know, helped me, guide me on the decisions that I like what sort of decisions to make. They were really heavy influence on how things were when I was just getting started. I guess from my point of view, I guess my dad and my brother, or my family, they were the ones who saw the bigger picture.
Wow.
They were the ones who sort of saw or visioned me playing or going all the way. For me, I was just like, oh, I just want to play, you know. But I guess like they were the ones to you know, guide me. So my dad helped me to get into Samoa 20s. He I think he helped me get over to there to trial for Samoa. I didn't think I was going to make it. I was just like, oh, who am I, you know? And I made the team, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, you know, like I'm happy to play Samoa under 20s and just stop playing rugby. That'll be my pride and joy. Like every time I would talk about rugby, I'd be like, yeah, Samoa 20s, you know? So that's as far as I thought I'd take it. And then the second year, I thought I was going back to Samoa. Then I got a call from the Australian rugby, and they were like, oh, how would you like to come for a trial, mate? And I was thinking to myself, oh, you know, why not? I was thinking to myself, it'd be pretty cool to play for two countries. You know, play for Australia. That'll be awesome. And then I had a trial, and I didn't make the last trial. So there was 3 trials. I got called into the second trial, and I didn't make the last trial. And just going back, and I was thinking to myself, okay, that's cool. I'm going to train, and I'm going to go play for Samoa. And then the last trial came, and there was a day before the final trial game. There was a game at the end, and I got a call, and they were saying, oh, there'd been a player, one of my good friends, Phil Manu. He, after training, he was kicking a ball or something like that. He must have injured his leg, so he couldn't trial. So they called me a day before the trial. They said, are you keen to trial because we've had an injury? And my gut was like, oh, just go for it. So I flew back down to Canberra, and I had one day to prepare, and I trialed. And the next day I got a call, and the coach of the team was like, don't get on that plane to go Samoa, please. We need you. And for me, that was like,
wow.
That was a massive turning point for me. I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, you know, if you like dare to believe, you can make it. And like, think about this, like when I was in the trials, I was the only kid wearing like West Harbour kit. Everyone was wearing super rugby kit. So like, who am I, a little kid from Mount Druitt, coming into this to the trial system, like, you know, thinking like I'm just gonna make up the numbers. And I went in there just no expectations. I just went in there and played. But I'm just really grateful, like, you know, how things have panned out. But that definitely growing up, like Australia under 20s and Samoa under 20s were like a really, really good memories for me. And but moving forward from there, I you know, like did a bit of, you know, trying to figure out where I stand in the rugby world. Finished the Australian under 20s, came back and I played for Penrith Emus out in the west. So it was good to connect with where I'm actually from, you know, out Penrith, out Mount Druitt ways. So I got to like know a lot of the boys from out west, and then that was a good learning experience for me, Penrith Emus. I was under Teki Tuipolotu. Yeah, he was a good coach. Definitely learned a lot from him. And from Penrith, I decided to go to Canberra, and I spent a season in Canberra, 2015. Spent a season in Canberra, and to be honest with you, it was like a bit of a slow for me. I was playing second grade in club rugby down there, and so for me it was a bit of a tough learning experience. I was thinking to myself, where am I going now? Like, you know, like I was pretty much ready to like hang up the boots and like, you know, just start working. So yeah, I was playing. I played one season there. I wasn't really satisfied with how I went and stuff like that. And I just packed up my bags one night and I drove back home to Sydney. And I was just like, oh, it's my family I miss, you know, like I've missed a lot of stuff. My grandpa passed away and I'd come back for the funeral. And I just looked around and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm over here in Canberra trying to fight for something that may not happen for me. And I'm like missing out on family stuff. And I think that was a big turning point for me. So I went back to Canberra, packed all my bags in one night, and I came back to Sydney. And
so you were like a ninja, right? Like a ninja?
Literally a ninja. I left at 3 a.m. I came back. I drove back after the funeral. I drove back and packed all my bags. I said to my brother, oh, Mike, I'm going to move back. And he was just saying, oh, man, I've been waiting for you to tell me this news. So I drove back to Canberra. I got back to Canberra at 12 at night. I packed my bags and I left at 3 a.m.
Wow.
And I just gave a call to the club to some of the boys and said, oh, yeah, I'm just going to go home for a bit. So I left and I went home. And that was a big turning point for me, I guess, because I came back home and my good friend Michael Bell hit me up from Parramatta Tupulis. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Like, oh, how many clubs do you want to be at, mate?
Don't worry, I was the Sables.
Yeah, so Michael Bell hit me up, and he was like, hey, mate, let's have a talk. So we sat down and I had a talk with him, and he said, oh, look, sign up with Parramatta. I just told him, if you can get me a job, I'm in. And so he told me, yep, I can get you a job right now. So I just needed some cash flow in a way. And this is probably like my only real experience of working. So he got me a job and I had signed with Parramatta. I was like, oh yeah, I'm Parramatta 2 weeks from now on. And so I was pretty much starting from the bottom. So I was working at this place called Bradnam's. It was a window glazing company. And it was really cool. Like, it was like, for me, I was like, oh, this is cool, you know, like being in the workforce and everything. And yeah, so I was on a lunch break one time, and I think it was like Instagram or a Snapchat, and my good friend Tolu Latu, he saw that I was back in Sydney, and he was like, Us, are you back in Sydney? And I was like, yeah, I've been back for about a week. And he was saying to me, oh, Us, this is Sydney Stars, the NRC team. So Us, we don't have any locks. Do you reckon you could just come to training? And for me, I was like, oh, man, I haven't played in 3 months. I haven't trained in 3 months. said, and I said, "Nah, I'm not. Don't be ridiculous, man." Like, he was like, "Just come to training. Just come to training." And that time, like, they had Jeremy Tills was a Waratahs prop that was playing for the Stars, and he was playing second row for the Stars at that time.
Wow.
He had all these injuries, and yeah, so he was just telling me, "Come to train. Just come to the training." I came and I was thinking, "Oh, okay, whatever. I'll come to the training." So I rocked up to training, and I met this coach called Peter Playford. If he watches this, shout out to Peter. Peter was saying, the first thing he said to me was like, "Hey mate, how you going? Oh, thanks so much for coming to training." And he was just being blunt. He said, "Look, I think you're going to be playing this week. You're going to be starting this week." And I was just like, "What the hell?" Like, thinking to myself, I didn't have any confidence in my fitness or anything like that. But he was just like, look, just do your best, you know. And I think going into that, like, I think that was another growing point. I just had to pick up the ball and run with it. And yeah, so I played for the Sydney Stars, and I surprised myself. I actually played. I think I played not too bad. And so, anyways, on the Monday after the game, by the way, this was my first time playing NRC. So, like, for me, I was like, NRC, I'm done. That could be my talking point about, like, you know, I play rugby NRC. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, so NRC happened. I played my first game, and on the Monday, I got a call from the Waratahs, from this guy called Cam Blades, and yeah, from there. He told me, "Oh, come in, have a meeting." So everything just went from 0 to 100 pretty quick. And within that week, I had signed at the Waratahs. And I was just, from me, I was like thinking, man, I'm happy to train for free. You know, I just need an opportunity. And yeah, so like from there, I signed at Waratahs, and I played 2 years there at Waratahs. And I got a few caps. It was really good. I got to rub shoulders with a lot of the Wallaby greats, you know, Izzy, Sekope Kepu, Cliff Palu. I was with Tolu and Tangele, Michael Hooper, you know, all those greats. And yeah, it was just like amazing because I was growing up watching these guys play on TV. And I was just rubbing shoulders with them. It was just awesome, you know, and I learned so much from them. After there, I decided to make the move to France, and I played for this club called USON Nevers, smack bang in the middle of France, in the countryside. We play in the Pro D2, the second division in France, and yeah, I've been here for the last 3 years. And wow. From there, yeah, this is last year. I was fortunate enough to get picked for the Manu Samoa. I got a call from Steve Jackson while we were in Lords. Like, you know the story when I was telling you, man, I can't believe it. And yeah, I got a call from Steve, and he said, "Hey, look, also, I'd just like to give you an opportunity if you're keen to come and play for Samoa in the PNC, and use that as a trial, and we'll pick the World Cup squad from there." And me, I was just like, "Hey, I'm keen to just play for Samoa at that point." So, I was just obviously so excited, and yeah, it was just moving forward from there. I went to Samoa, and I played against Tonga, and yeah, that first
was
game
that like the muddy
was,
game? Like it was like real muddy?
That was that mud rugby game, you know, that everybody was like, "This is not supposed to go ahead." And yeah, it was an experience that you would never forget. Running around, it was one tackle. You make a tackle, and you know it's like when someone throws mud on your windshield, and you're trying to get rid of the mud.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. The mud was hitting your eyes, and you're trying to pick it up, and you're just trying to clear your eyes. I don't know what was harder, trying to get the mud out of my eyes or play the game, you know. But yeah, playing for Samoa has definitely been the highlight of my career. But then to add on to that, playing in the World Cup was just like I went like that, you know. just to go to the World Cup. Like, who am I? A kid from Mount Druitt.
Wow.
Like, hardly anyone from Mount Druitt plays rugby.
Mm.
And, I was just like, a lot of the times growing up, I'd always be like, I'm not for this, it's not going to be me. It's going to be someone else, So I was always thinking, oh, why me, like, I'm just so privileged to, like, make it.
Mm.
But Japan, making it making it in the team was just, for me, I was just like so happy. I was like so happy for my family, like all the sacrifices that they've made to get me to where I am. Like, I owe everything to my mom, my dad, my brother and sister, everyone that's supporting me. So, like, it's really something special to me and to my family just to wear the blue jersey. But yeah, like, that's been me so far. Well,
wow. And how old are you now, Senio?
26.
Wow. Wow. In the space of that wow, that's a massive milestone, achievements. You've been able to achieve in just a short amount of time. That's amazing, man. Also, can I just ask this, because there was a special moment in the World Cup, and in one of the games. Can you kind of like elaborate on that and kind of like, because I know it went kind of viral on Facebook and all that. Can you kind of like share with our audience what that was for those that didn't see that?
Well, there was a moment. The game was pretty much done and dusted, and obviously we were playing against Russia. Came off the bench. I think I got about 25 minutes or 20 minutes, something like that. I was just I was on the field. I was just, just trying to, whatever came like across, I was just trying to get involved as much as I could. And there was a little scuffle between a little halfback and I think it was the number 7 of Russia. And I'm not sure, they were pushing each other in the throat or trying to throw punches or something. And I seen it, and my natural reaction was, hey, like, like I was like, hey. I don't know what I was doing, I was just, I was reacting, I got in between and I grabbed the Russian guy, because I've been in the past, like when my rugby mates have a fight with the other team, what I tend to do is I get in there and I hug the opposition guy. So what I do is I hug him and I get in as close as I can so he can't get hit. You know what I mean? So I'm protecting him. And what it does is, if anyone's going to get hit, it's going to be me. And if anyone's going to hit me, it's going to be my teammates. You know what I mean? So if you watch other fights that I've been in, I'm not actually fighting. I'm just going in and I'm hugging the guy that's getting hit until it calms down. So what I was doing was I wanted to like hug him as well in case someone comes and hits him. Yeah. I was like patting him on the back. Then I gave him a little kiss on the head. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. And like, let's just play.
Because I know that went viral, and it was about just highlighted the importance of sportsmanship. And at the end of the day, regardless of what the result is, regardless of how it pans out, at the end of the day, it's just a game. Yeah. And what you did then, like when I saw that, and I was like, "Wow, that's amazing!" Like at a World Cup, in the heat of the moment, you just from that gesture, just show people that, hey, at the end of the day, it's just a game, man. We're still alive. No one's hurt. No one's injured. And that, so man, I thought that was a testament of your character and your nature. So no, well done, man. Well done. I told you, I was like, man, I felt like I was like like when you're starstruck, because we were just sitting in the cafe in France, and then now you're on the world stage and you do this amazing like gesture, and I was like, man, yeah, I got to meet them, man. Like I felt like a little kid, man. But nah, man, take my head off to you, bro. Well done, man, on that awesome stuff. Just our next questions is what's been something that you faced like a struggle that you faced in your career, and what were some key things, or let's say 3 key things that you learned that have helped you to in your journey of life, like now, that you could encourage our viewers, our young athletes watching their parents. What are 3 things that you can pass on to them? If you were talking to them right now, what would you say?
Tough question, but I think I've had a good think about this question, and like I think just from like answering that from a general point of view, like growing up, it was just me and my brother. Like we didn't have any like we had uncles and everyone, like obviously everyone has uncles and old cousins and stuff like that. But for me, it was just me and my brother Michael. And me and Mike growing up, we had no one like, no mentors, no one like telling us, oh, just be careful of that, or, watch out for that. So pretty much like it was like going somewhere and like not knowing what to expect. Like how you always have like you would have like a coach, or you would have an uncle or someone that's played rugby, or they've been there, done that, or someone that's you have someone in your family that will be there to help guide you. Man, like it was just me, my brother, and my dad, and like I feel like there was no one there to sort of advise us. Like, man, we come from like nothing. Like we come from Mount Druitt. Like it's a hard place to grow up. And like we had no one to I don't know how to explain it, but we had no one guiding us. Like we did all the mistakes, and like if there's someone out there like thinking, oh, I can't make it, that guy's he's 6 foot, whatever, like he's born to make it. Like for me, man, like I see myself as like not nothing, but I saw myself as like, man, who am I? Who am I to dare to dream to go to the top, or dare to dream to like make it to where I've gone? So I've always been like, I feel like we had no one, and like me and my brother, every time we talk about it, we get emotional because like like it felt like no one helped us in a way, like no one helped guide us, like don't do that, don't do this, or go there, So we did all the mistakes, and like we overcome so much, and it's like driving in a new city for the first time, and you're taking all the wrong turns. Like we took all the wrong turns. Like believe me, like we weren't like guided by anyone. And I guess like from that, like we learned so much, like firsthand, not second. Like we didn't get like advice. So I guess like that was a struggle in itself. Like we had no idea. Like we had no connection to any rugby player that could help us get in, you know what I mean? Like I had no cousins playing rugby league, no friends, no one playing rugby union. Like we were like first timers. And like that, for me, that was like a struggle, like trying to understand the rugby culture, trying to understand everything. And so for like me, my brother, and my dad, it was the first time for all of us. And I guess like just keep going at it. That's what we did. Like it was like I just kept training. My brother would like drop me off to trainings. Like man, like they would drop me off to training because I wasn't driving until I was 22, 23. So imagine getting dropped off, picked up for trainings. Like they sacrificed so much. And like I said in the start, like they're the ones that saw the bigger picture. That's why they like did what they did. And so that was a struggle, but that was a great like learning for me. And like if there was any encouragement like to kids who doubt themselves because of where they've come from, what they have had to overcome, like kids out there that are thinking, oh, like can't do it, not me. Like, hey, like that's me. I'm that kid. I was never ever picked. Like growing up, I was never picked in the rep teams or anything. Like I was playing like growing up. I was always playing 13 Bs, 14 Bs. I was always playing the B side, Like I'm come from seconds, So like if there's anyone out there thinking, oh, nah, I'm not good enough, like that's me. So I've been there, done that. So like, if there's anyone that's aspiring or wants to like try and figure out, oh man, I can make something of myself. I think it's just the consistency is the key. I went through a phase for 2 months where every day I ran in the morning. I ran every morning. I ran to this park called Popendetta Park. If there's any boys from Mount Druitt that know that park, that's my domain. I used to go there early in the morning. I used to run there, run 10 laps, and run home every morning. And for me, that was like consistent. Like I ran every morning, and I just became fit. And like whatever opportunity came at that time, I was like ready to go. And I guess like the advice that I would give people would be like, yeah, just the consistency. Like, just like if it's like going for a walk and then a walk into a jog and then a jog into a run, you know, like one little thing and then like one turns into two. Like that was exactly what I did. I got up one day and I was like, oh, I'm just going to go for a run. So I went for a run and I did like 2 laps and I was puffing. Then 2 laps turned into 3 the next day, 3 to 4. And then from there I got momentum. And that's, I think for me, every time I go through like a struggle, or if I'm going through like, you know, like if I go through a tough time in rugby, if I'm not fit enough or something like that, or if my weight's not good or whatever, I always go back to what I know, and that's just starting again. And like, you know, that run goes for another run. Then from there you can, you know, you get momentum from there. So it's always, for me, that's always been my reset button, you know. I'd think back in Mount Druitt when I would wake up in the morning, I'd just straight away just run outside, go to the park and then do my run.
Yeah.
And that's for me, like, yeah, it's something that I always do. If that answers your question.
That's awesome, because you know, like just listening to you share, you know, the kid from Mount Druitt, you know, didn't grow up with much, you know, and you know what he had to come through. You know, I know a lot of young athletes and even a lot of you know, people my generation who still think like that. But hear you share like, hey, you know what, man? Like, don't let that stop you from achieving your goals. You know, just be consistent. You know, whatever your dream is, be consistent. Do it day in, day out. Don't let your past hold you back. Don't let where you come from hold you back. But have a dream and dream big, and keep the dream in the forefront. You know, and just hearing you speak tonight and share that, that's what I picture. I picture this kid from Mount Druitt, didn't have much, but his dream was at the forefront of you know, where he was going. And you know, and just hearing you saying like what you're saying, like, you know, it just reminds me of a person not just doing what it takes, but doing whatever it takes. You know, and the fruits is where you're at right now. You know, and then that's how you can tell if someone is you know, who they say they are, in the action matches with their dream. It's the fruits. You know what I mean? And I love that your actions, you know, it leveled with your dream. And like you said, the main key message that I know that a lot of young people will take out of this tonight, and also the families, is consistency. You know, it's funny you said momentum, because you mentioned momentum, and I know our theme this year is momentum.
Oh yeah.
My next question was going to be like, how do you maintain and build momentum, especially in this COVID time? And I know we're like kind of coming out of it a bit, and you just answered that, and that is just be consistent. Be consistent with the little things, the little 1%ers, and then that will create and build the momentum. But no, man, that's you know, really you know, taking a lot out of our conversation tonight. And I know that many that are watching, I think they probably got 3 notebooks full of you know, takeaways that they would have taken away from our conversation tonight. And so my last question for you also is, what's next for Senio? What's next for you on the cards now? Is there another a tour of duty with Samoa? Is you know, what's next?
Oh, I don't want to take too much too much of your time, but
all good.
yeah, at the moment, like being as a rugby player, obviously, like you go from different clubs. You might spend a year here, 2 years there, 3 years there. So for me, just going through, just trying to, in a way, like just be cool-headed. Like being in French rugby, sometimes there's like, there could be one day you get a call and your club's like, oh, are you ready to move clubs yet? So in a way, that's sort of what I'm going through at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's good because like it's I just take it how it is. Like I'm not too sure what the future holds for me, but for me at the moment, just being like just trying to upskill, trying to like do some self-development during this time. And at the same time, just trusting that something is going to happen for me.
Awesome.
But yeah, what's next for Senio? Like, yeah, definitely. Like, it's not going to stop here. Like, I definitely one of my next big goals would to be in the next World Cup squad in France. That'll be another huge milestone for us to get there. Oh. And yeah, just other stuff is just taking care of my family and yeah, I guess like for me, it's not all about rugby. For me, it's also like I really like love rugby. It's a passion, but I'm using rugby as a vehicle to set me up for after rugby.
Oh, nice.
So I'm doing a lot of stuff outside of rugby. Trying to set up myself and my family so we could live a comfortable life after rugby, because I know that there's a lot of athletes out there that struggle after rugby, going straight back into working. I've heard so many stories of people going under and they're just dealing with all these different problems, and then that's what leads to all different sort of problems.
Yeah.
So for myself, that's definitely one major thing, is to use rugby to sort of push me forward to get a good start in life after rugby. So I think about that all the time, like I think about, I play rugby during the day, but after rugby I come home and I'm like, how am I going to make it work? Like what's going to happen? So it's something that I'm not scared of, but I'm really enjoying trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Just finding ways to set myself up. And at the moment, I'm on something that's like really awesome. I've just been mentored on different sort of things outside of rugby, and that's been huge for me. And I'm just looking forward to what the future holds. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I love that. Like you're not just thinking about the now, but you're also thinking about beyond the now, the future, and that you're really putting things in plans in place. And I guess for those athletes that are watching right now, it's something to think about. Rugby's only, or league, or whatever sport you play, is only a short bit of your life, and you got to have that that bigger plan. In the midst, because if you think about it, if it's like a 20-cent coin, you bring a 20-cent coin and you bring it close to your eye, that's all you see. But when you pull it back out, you see the 20-cent coin. It's just a dot amongst a lot of things, and that's like rugby. Sometimes we can hold rugby as close to our eye, and that's all we see. But when you pull it out, you see that it's only one part of God's plan for all of us. But it's been amazing talking with you tonight, Senor. Thank you for sharing those takeaways. Keyword consistency to build momentum. Other things that came out of tonight was, one, don't let your past or where you come from stop you from pursuing your dream. Have the vision in front of you. And man, if a boy from Mount Druitt, from Mauni County, didn't have an academy to support him, like a lot of the kids in Ainama, they've got Ainama to support them and to guide them. But you told us tonight, you didn't have any of that. But yet, here you are. You made it. Why? Because you made up your mind and said, no, I'm going to chase this, and I'm going to do not what it takes but whatever it takes. And now you're a World Cup player, living in France, and doing amazing things. And on behalf of our number, we want to say a massive thank you to you, but also to your other half, Courtney. If you're watching, Courtney, thank you for letting Senio. I know Senio's supposed to make your lunch soon. Thank you for letting him come on board to talk with us. But Senio, man, we wish you nothing but the best for the rest of your for the year, and also for your career. And we'll be praying for you. And we always got your back. And but thank you, Senio. Thank you for tonight. Really enjoy having you on board, and we look forward to catching up again sometime soon. But again, thank you, and God bless.
Yep. Thank
any
you so
final
much.
words before we go? Any final words? Any shout outs?
Shout out to the Iron Academy, and also shout out to all the boys out in the west of Sydney, and
County.
also shout out to everyone out there hustling. But yeah, I really appreciate your time, and it's just great to know someone like you to mentor and coach me. So I'm really grateful. So thanks for your time, also.
And that's us, brother. Enjoy your rest of your day. God bless.
Yeah, God bless.
Take care, bro. See ya. There you have it. What an awesome time with the brother Senio, catching up with him, and it's awesome to hear where he's at, but also just what he shared with us tonight. I know that there was some gems in there that a lot of us, many of us, will take away to help us on our own personal journeys. So again, thank you to everybody for tuning in, and stay tuned for next week's episode of More Than Just a Game. It's your boy C. Motivates. Have a good night. Let's go.